We've been hearing a lot about Congressman Todd Akin's controversial comments, but one side we haven't heard much from is the victims. According to the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, 5% of women become pregnant after rape. One of those women has come forward writing a powerful letter that's now gone viral. That woman is Shauna Prewitt, and she joins me now live from Chicago. Welcome, Shauna.
Good morning, Carol.
This is something most women can't bear to talk about. Why did you think it was so important to make your feelings known?
When I read Representative Akin's comments on Sunday, I was just deeply offended because I felt that first of all, they were bred in ignorance, biological ignorance, and I wanted that part to be known. But then I also wanted to touch upon this idea of legitimate versus illegitimate rape, and kind of strike down this notion that we really need to get away from talking about rape in these terms, because it's so harmful to us as a society, and especially to the way that rape is prosecuted and dealt with in our country.
When you were attacked, you came forward, you reported the attack to the police, and you expected people to believe your story, but in some cases that's not what happened. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, my experience was like, I think most women's experience, which is that, you know, the second you say that you're raped, a raped woman is immediately the one that's put on a trial. And it becomes about things that I think are a little bit ridiculous to focus on. You know, what you were wearing, exactly what you said, you know, where you were. And I just think, you know, no means no. And if a woman has said no, then that ought to be respected.
So you were raped and you found out you were pregnant. I can't imagine how that must have felt.
Yeah, you know, it was a mixture of emotions. There was not any one single defining emotion that I felt, and moreover, what I felt the day I found out changed a week later and even a month later. I think overwhelmingly, I was scared. I was shocked, but then I was also feeling a lot of shame because I was really struggling with this emotion of feeling a bond towards this life growing inside of me, and thinking that I shouldn't be feeling that way, but yet feeling that way. And so it was important to me to write this letter so that women can understand, you know, your feelings are legitimate because they're your feelings.
Whether you want to continue with your pregnancy or not?
Yes.
And, you know, I was just curious to know, do you think that women should have that choice?
You know, I think that rape is such a multi-dimensional experience, and that women respond to it differently, and that, you know, I can't pretend that the choice that I made for me would be right for the woman standing next to me. So, you know, in that regard, I would hate to say something that would harm her feelings or undermine her experience. But at the same time, you know, I have this beautiful child who's amazing and wonderful, and, you know, I would hate to think that her life could have been extinguished. So, you know, it's a delicate issue. It's one that I really shy away from. I'm not an advocate for abortion rights or for the pro-life movement either. You know, my focus is really on the rape experience and then the parental rights issue.
Before we get into the parental rights, because I know that's a big issue with you, as it should be, because this is a more insane part of your story. Your daughter, what do you tell her?
Well, my daughter's almost 8, so she's, of course, at this age where notions of sex and rape, she doesn't understand those notions whatsoever. So what we've focused on is this idea that, you know, families come in all different shapes and sizes. Some families have, you know, a mom, some have a dad, some have grandparents involved, some have siblings. In our family, it's her and me, and that's fantastic. She's loved, she's beloved, and I just want her to know that, you know, she's great.
And I do want to get into the cause that you're fighting for, because your rapist actually fought for custody of the child.
That's right, and I had no idea when this happened that that there would be a court on planet Earth that would kind of entertain his ability to have access to my daughter. I was very lucky. I was able to get his parental rights terminated, so he was never a part of her life and never will be a part of her life. But I know that there are a lot of women that aren't so lucky. So I've spent the past 2 years advocating for those women and trying to approach legislators on a state-by-state basis to get them to adopt laws that would protect these women.
Well, Shauna Prewitt, thank you so much for sharing your story. You're one courageous woman. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You could read more of Shauna's story, Raped, Pregnant, and Ordeal Not Over, on our CNN.com opinion page. All you have to do is log on to CNN.com/opinion.